Hi, what up, YouTube? This is No Cap, No Filter. I'm your host, Marlon G, back at y'all another episode of Running With You. And tonight I want to run it with y'all about this whole 50 Cent, Diddy, Marlon Wayans, Ja Rule thing, man. The black community, bro, got a lot to talk about this. I've been waiting to speak on this for a minute now, finally getting around to it. I'm going to give y'all a little recap of what Marlon Wayans said. We're going to react to it and I'm gonna just go in detail on how I feel about 50 Cent making the documentary about Diddy and how everybody is saying 50 Cent is wrong for this situation because he's not really caring about the victims and it's just personal beef with him and P Diddy and he's tearing another black man down when some people feeling like go ahead on, kick him while he down. He was kicking Cassie while she was down, and we gotta shame these people. If you do wrong, it's gonna come back to bite you. So you gotta hold people accountable. So where you feel like what how you feel about the situation? Like what side of town? What side of the fence are you on? Let's go ahead on and get into what Marlon Wayans said so y'all can get like a little backstory on it if you're not familiar with it. Without further ado, let's go ahead on.
We ain't baby all close.
Nah, you stupid.
But yo, look, Puff is
Nah. You working with
I've known
Pac?
Puff for 30 years.
You saw Big before he passed?
Yeah.
Bro, so you're close. And Jack, what were you saying?
In the documentary, there was insinuations of, that Diddy possibly had something to do with both Tupac and Biggie. And,
Who's telling the story, right? You can skew
People very close to the situation.
but you can create any narrative as a producer and as a director and as a storyteller. I can create a narrative. I could be like, you know what?
You have?
I could create a narrative.
Well,
I
we
could be
see it all the time in reality shows. Like,
Nah,
on reality
that's right.
shows,
Yeah,
that's how
you're
they create.
creating
You write
a
a
narrative.
character.
It doesn't mean it's true. It doesn't mean it's true. I can get interviews. I can do this. I can get footage, and I could make you think this about that person.
Nah, for sure, yeah.
And that doesn't necessarily mean it's true. So for me, I think, look, 50 and Puff have a long-term beef. It's personal. It's
Well, people are saying 50's wrong for doing it, but 50's right for doing it. It's divided.
It's between him and Puff. And before it's between him and Puff, it's between both of them and God. Just the way Puff is down on his luck and 50's kicking a man when he's down.
God is going to...
If 50 ever luck turn up on 50, that you got to be careful what you put out. There's a karma to every action that you do.
Okay. When it comes to karma, first of all, let's get into that. When it comes to karma, I do feel like, if as long as you're doing a lot of negative things, you're gonna get some negative energy poured back into you. But it don't always be the case. It's a lot of people out here who really was doing some sleazy, grimy stuff to get to the top, and they don't really see repercussions. Not for them, not for close family members, not for the kids. They usually sometimes live a good life, and they comfortable and they sleep good at night knowing that they did a lot of grimy stuff. But when it comes to the Diddy documentary, I do feel like two things can be true at once. I do feel like 50 has a personal vendetta with Diddy because the things Diddy was doing with the mother of 50 Cent's child, and not only that, I do feel like 50 Cent was actually in love with this woman. I do feel like 50 Cent has some strong feelings for this woman, and when that can happen, though, you're gonna have some type of vendetta sometimes. And 50 Cent is one of the main people you do not want a vendetta with because he will make your life a living hell, and he is the king of being petty. Like, he don't care how big you are or how small you are. It's gonna be up with you to the grave, Even asked that girl that was on Love and Hip Hop, Tierra Marie, he's still like trying to sue her to this day. He don't even need the money. It's just the fact that, when you play with him, he's gonna come for you. And he's gonna come hard. And I would expect Diddy to do something else in return. Like, I would expect Diddy to do his own documentary when he gets out. He already sent them flowers, and that's basically saying, you could be touched if I want you touched, even if I'm behind these walls. Now, as far as the documentary, I seen one episode of the documentary, and Marlon is right. You know, when you're the narrator of something, you can make anybody believe what you want them to believe. You know, do I believe that Diddy had something to do with Tupac's death? Do I believe he had something to do with Biggie's death? I'm not sure. You know, you see all these things pointing to him. Keefe D interview, Keefe D book, this documentary right here. You know, the magazine cover with Biggie. Like, it's so many different things. Now, I do believe that Diddy was a freak. I do believe he was a manipulator. I do believe he was a person that likes to control people. And I do believe a lot of the sexual allegations that he had about him was true. Now the murder allegations, I don't know about that. But one thing I do know, he who controls the media can control minds. You know, and you could get a bunch of different clips to say this person is like this or this person is like that. But just like you could get a bunch of clips like that, Diddy could get a bunch of clips from other people saying otherwise. You know? So it's all on how you want that to be the narration. And it's all on what you want to believe. But once again, like I say, you have a digital footprint when it comes to this internet. So if you carry yourself a certain way, once that judgment day come for when you get some type of allegation against you, they're going to pull up all these clips on you and it'll make you look like a certain way and you'll be guilty in the public eyes regardless, you know. But, and as far as, you know, is it tearing down the black man? Like, I think we got to get out of that. Like, you know, everybody's saying, oh, nobody had nothing to say when all these white producers was making all these allegations and all these documentaries on Diddy's. But soon as 50 Cent do it, oh, nah, it's a black man tearing the black man down. I think you got to hold people accountable regardless. And I think us as people need to hold people accountable in our community more than anyone else. If we held people accountable in our community, in our neighborhoods, I think it'll be better off for our community and for our neighborhoods and for the influence of the next generation and the youth. Because if you don't hold people accountable, if you don't bring shame in, then everybody could just run amok and do whatever. But the only thing I don't like about our community is we the only community that just fights and talk about each other, and we just gotta have drama. You see it on the Shannon Sharp show. You see it on all these different podcasts. We the only community is constantly bickering and beefing with each other. At least all these other communities, if they do have a problem with each other, they just settle it in court and they settle it behind closed doors. We the only people that bring it to the cameras. We the only people that gotta go live and talk about people. Like, we the only community that do that. You know, we the only community that feeds off of negativity and drama. And the way that this Diddy documentary is selling, is proof in the pudding. You know, you want to see the drama, you want to see the mess, you want to see the house burning. And I'm no better because I watched it too. I watched one episode of it too. You know, but like I said, I think we could get better with a community, as a community, at that type of stuff. Let's look at another clip.
I'm not here defending Diddy. I am here because I got dragged into this because somebody asked me a question and I had an opinion. Nobody's wrong for giving an opinion about any subject, period. I'm not here defending Diddy. Don't let the narrative fool you or get to you. Once again, somebody's creating narratives. This is my point. So please look at the whole clip that I did and then look what happens with the narrative. And that's what I'm telling you. Y'all people don't be sheep. Use your brain, use your freedom of thought, freedom of speech, and don't ever let nobody bully you. Never. Don't let nobody bully you. You got me? Love. Now back to trolling this troll. All right.
Now,
So
that's that was another thing that he said back to trolling is troll. If y'all ain't aware, they've been going at it on social media for like the past couple of days now, you know. And this right after Marlon was just going at it with Vlad, you know, and he was and 50 Cent posting a lot of the same stuff that Vlad was posting. Him dressed up, you know, trying to show respect to his kid that's trans. Um, you know, I think that's kind of going below the belt. Like you don't play with people's kids and stuff like that. But other than that, man, they just trolling each other with all these homophobic, you know, slurs and things of that nature. But once again, man, we the only community that do that. Like we the only community that like to tear each other down, and everybody like to watch from afar and just get entertained in the whole mess. You know, instead of just letting somebody be and leaving them alone. You know, we just got to get into it and be everybody's entertainment. You know, and they talking about tearing each other down. The way look at Marlon tearing 50 down the same way. You know, but 50 Cent, bro, he lives for this. He loves to, you know, be in the middle of all this, and that way he could promote whatever that he has to promote. You know, he already got the Street Fighter movie coming out soon. So 50 Cent, he's a master marketer, man. The man is a very good businessman, a very good hustler, and I think a lot of people look up to him for that. And I think a lot of people looked up to Diddy for that as well. And a lot of people got their heart broken by this documentary that came out because now a lot of people, without of a shadow of a doubt, feel like Diddy is responsible for two of their heroes being gone. And not only them two, even Nipsey Hussle. Like it's a lot of things that just coming out. You know, and it's like people just can't believe it. You know, and like I say, man, you leave a digital footprint. They even got a footage of him shaking people up, hands in Harlem, and having to say he got to take a bath now. Like that you showing people as inhumane. Like you just too much on your high horse. And like I say, man, it's certain stuff when it's on camera, you can't really take it back. You can't say, "Oh, that's not like me. That's not me." It is you. It was recorded. You too arrogant to care if it was recorded. All you didn't know it was recorded. The realest people do things when they not know they getting watched. And the most arrogant people do things when they know they getting watched and they just think they untouched. You know? So yeah, bro. I do think what Marlon was saying was kind of taken out of context, you know. But at the same time, you gotta be able to read the room. You know, if everybody seen the footage of Cassidy getting beat, you know, that all the other stuff that he did beat is he's still gonna go down for something. You know, you gonna go down for something. You might ain't catch all the charges that you could have possibly catch, but you gotta go down for something. And sometimes when it comes to getting a sentence and stuff, you gotta think about all the stuff that you got away with. Look at all the stuff that you got away with. And you gotta go serve your time and you gotta go find redemption. And I think that's what Puffy doing right now. He's serving his time and he's finding redemption. Because he's been up in there a long time. And a lot of people feel like, oh man, all he did was get some prostitutes and Cassie was with it and all the girls, they was consent, you know, that's fine. But I still feel like you're gonna have to go pay for things that you didn't even get charged with some way, somehow, and you're gonna have to pay for that, and that goes back to karma. You know, you gotta think about all the stuff that you did get away with. You know, like you beat that girl while she was on the ground, and that was the only thing that was recorded. Think about all the other women that wasn't recorded. And I know it's a lot of people, you know, lying trying to get a payday, but all these people that's lying trying to get a payday, some of these people are telling the truth. It just ain't on footage. You know? And a lot of people need to understand how coercion work. It's a manipulated tactic saying if you don't do this, you're not going to get this from me. Yes, the person did it and consented with it, but at the same time, that's abuse. You abusing power. And that's why workers don't want, that's why companies don't want workers working with workers in the company, because it has a conflict of interest. And once again, digital footprints. If you don't learn nothing about this video, you gotta learn about what you post on the internet. You know what I'm saying? But all I could say is, man, for all these free calls and Diddy doing his time and people feeling like, oh, it's a black man getting took down by another black man. At the end of the day, bro, that man gotta go do his time. He gotta go find salvation. It's a lot of crazy stuff about this dude going on right now. And even when he get out, people never gonna look at him the same. And certain people saying, oh, well, I don't know why he got this amount of time, but white people getting this amount of time. Is that unfair? Yes. But at the end of the day, this dude gotta go do his time, just same as R. Kelly. I can't stand getting in debates with people with R. Kelly when they feel like R. Kelly should be free when he was doing stuff with underage women. But these same people will say, as soon as he get free, they will buy a ticket to go support him. Like, that is crazy to me. And he was on camera footage as well with an underage woman, and everybody knew it. But that go to show you how bad the industry is. That go to show you how bad fandom is when people idolize these people just for the sake of they make a good song. Like, we got things backwards, you know. And once again with R. Kelly, digital footprint, and you got a pattern and a history of doing weird stuff. But let me know what y'all feel about the situation. Do y'all think that 50 Cent is wrong? Do y'all think he's putting a black man down? Do you feel like he's right? He's holding him accountable, even if he's having a personal vendetta with him. You know, some way, somehow, these victims can find justice in this video, even if they didn't get any type of, you know, payday from what they was trying to sue him for, or whatever the case may be. They could know that, okay, this man is the monster that I was trying to tell everybody that he was all along. Let me know down in the comment section below. If you like the video, go ahead on and hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, what you're waiting on. If you'd like to see me react to any other video or speak on anything, hit up the comment section. I will reply to it, or hit up the email, nocapnofilter7@gmail.com. Until next time, happy holidays. Peace.